Someone recently told me that my beard makes me look distinguished. So I got that going for me, which is nice. In late February, Republican reps Marjorie Taylor Greene of Georgia and Paul Gosar of Arizona spoke at a conference organized by a prominent white nationalist. Yes, you heard that right. Two sitting members of Congress addressed a forum organized by Nick Fuentes, a prominent white nationalist activist. So, pretty appalling. The question now, though, is what Republicans will do about it, or specifically, what House Minority Leader Kevin McCarthy will do about it. In the immediate aftermath of that conference, McCarthy told CNN's Melanie Zanona that it was, quote, appalling and wrong, end quote, for Greene and Gosar to speak at the event. He went on to add this, quote, there's no place in our party for any of this. This is unacceptable, end quote. But when later questioned on the topic by reporters, McCarthy was non-committal about what to do on Greene.
I commented on that on yesterday. I understand your job. I understand what you're trying to do. I've already commented on that. We've got a war in Europe that we have not had since World War II.
To which I would say, what are you going to actually, do about it? If past this prologue, the answer to my question is, well, not very much. Go back to early 2021, when a series of past incendiary and violent statements made by Greene came to light. McCarthy, at that time, met with the Georgia Congresswoman, but took no action to punish her for her comments. Quote, past comments from and endorsed by Marjorie Taylor Greene on school shootings, political violence, and anti-Semitic conspiracy theories do not represent the values or beliefs of the House Republican Conference, McCarthy said in a statement released at the time. He added, I condemn those comments unequivocally, end quote. 11 Republicans, not including McCarthy, eventually voted with House Democrats to remove Greene from her committee assignments. Just a few months later, though, Greene was again in the news when she compared the mask-wearing policies in the House to the Holocaust. Again, McCarthy was not happy. Quote, Marjorie is wrong, and her intentional decision to compare the horrors of the Holocaust with wearing masks is appalling, he said, adding, the Holocaust is the greatest atrocity committed in history. The fact that this needs to be stated today is deeply troubling, end quote. And again, he took no formal action to reprimand her. You notice a theme? So, what could McCarthy do this time? There's a couple of options. Option one, McCarthy could sign on to a censure motion in the House. While censure of members is not common, it does happen. In fact, Paul Gosar was censored by the House last year following his promotion of a photoshopped cartoon anime video that portrayed him appearing to kill Democratic Congresswoman Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez and attack President Joe Biden. Option number two for McCarthy. He could push for a formal reprimand of Greene. Now, the last member to be formally reprimanded was Arizona Republican Congressman Dave Schweikert in 2020. That followed a House Ethics Committee investigation that found he had committed a series of campaign finance violations. Option three for McCarthy. He could decide that Republican campaign committees would not accept contributions from Greene or Gosar, or use either one of them to raise money for the committee's campaign arms. At this point, McCarthy's scolding of Greene is honestly pointless. As has been demonstrated repeatedly over the past year, strong words from party leadership don't do much of anything to slow what Greene says and does. And her behavior during the State of the Union address in early March, Greene and Colorado Congresswoman Lauren Boebert repeatedly heckled Biden from their seats in the House chamber, suggests that she isn't planning to back down or change her behavior one iota. Why hasn't McCarthy gone beyond a verbal scolding of Greene? That's simple. She's one of the most prominent supporters of former President Donald Trump in the House and is wildly popular with the Republican base. McCarthy wants to be Speaker of the House, and for that to happen, he has to be acceptable to the House Freedom Caucus, of which Greene is a very high-profile member. Greene has already held that political reality over McCarthy's head. Quote, we know that Kevin McCarthy has a problem in our conference. He doesn't have the full support to be Speaker, Greene said on an episode of Florida Congressman Matt Gaetz' podcast in late 2021, adding this, he doesn't have the votes that are there because there's many of us that are very unhappy about the failure to hold Republicans accountable, while conservatives like me, Paul Gosar, and many others just constantly take the abuse by the Democrats, end quote. Look, the ball is firmly in McCarthy's court again. Will he punt again on taking actual steps to punish Greene, or will he actually stand up to her no matter the political consequences? I know where I'd put my betting money, and that is the point. We make New Point episodes every Tuesday and Thursday. I hope you check them all out.